Everybody, I'm Bill Dance, and on today's show, it's time for more viewer mail. This letter comes in from little Bucky from Northwest Indiana. Bucky writes in, Bill, I would sure like to see Fletcher Shryock and Bill Lowen on that Stray Cats outdoor cartoon television show. Well, Bucky, let me see what I can do. I can get a hold of those guys at Stray Cats and see if we can make that happen. Yes! Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. I am your host, Pat Renwick. Hey, wait.
That's right.
Wait, I'm getting a text from Bill Dance, guys.
Oh, really?
I'm getting a text from Bill Dance right now.
What's he up to?
Bill wants to know if we can get Fletcher Shryock and Bill Lowen on the show for Bucky.
For Bucky.
Well, Bill, what a coincidence. On this edition of Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television, we have Fletcher and Bill live tonight. Yes, this is happening, Bill. We are making your and Bucky's dreams come true, as well as the rest of the bassing universe tonight. Fletcher Shryock and Bill Lowen on Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. Woo! Yes! Wow.
You're welcome, Bill.
You know this is an award-winning show when Bill Dance texts us, and we make Bill Dance's dreams come true.
I didn't know he texted. He's got one of them cell phones.
He does. He speak texts, because that's why I
can take those anywhere.
Yeah, I don't even know what that says, but I figured it out. I figured it out right there. Hey, again,
lizard.
It says pork, Uncle Josh, pork, number 800, spring lizard pup.
Right.
It says it right there. Hey, again, I'm Pat Renwick. This is Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. It's Wednesday night. This is the award-winning show by our own awards that we bring you the best in the bass fishing galaxy 3 Wednesdays a month.
We gave ourselves some fine awards.
There you are again. Speaking of this guy right here.
I'm not sick anymore.
He's number one with a... He's number one with a bullet. He's got a loaded gun complex. Cock it and pull it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker.
I'm going to excuse you for introducing me with a Fallout Boy quote.
Yes, you love the Fallout Boys.
I'll excuse it, but don't do it again.
You absolutely love the Fallout Boys. And everybody's back. We got a full house again tonight. Back from his Urban Development Summit last week is the one and only hip-hop fisherman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my dude. It's JP High. Yeah. How was the summit, JP?
It was awesome.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Did you develop things?
No, I did some learning.
You learned some curves?
Yep.
It's a learning curve for JP.
Yep.
My buddy over here with the TH Marine hat on, he's over there producing the hell out of this show right now. It's Andrew. He's German or something. His last name's Ellenberger, and he's red on the head like a producer should be. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Ginger Ninja. That's Andy. Say hi, Andy. It's Andrew Ellenberger over there. Hey, let's just get right to this. I mean, it's a magic night here in the bass fishing universe.
Yes, sir.
So let's get right down to it, and we'll connect with Fletcher as he is driving across the country right now. Put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, it's Fletcher Shryock right here on Stray Cats. Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 B.A.S.S. Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA, designed and engineered to be perfect. Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com. PH Custom Lures by Phil Hunt are quickly becoming the most sought-after custom balsa baits in the industry, from the Little Hunter to the Squeaky P. These baits are pure quality, handcrafted, hand-carved, and hand-painted. But most importantly, they flat-out catch fish. PH Custom Lures has a bait for any situation in a magnitude of colors. Check out the Old School, Straighter, and PH Custom series at phcustomlures.com. That's phcustomlures.com.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
Taming the beast isn't easy, but the bigger your electronics, the more you have on the line. In conditions like this, you need the KVD Kong Extreme Electronics Mount. The only electronics mount designed and built to be rock solid, no movement, no matter how heavy your gear. A marine-grade mount for fresh or salt water that's monstrously strong. The KVD Kong Extreme Electronics Mount.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh my, oh my. Welcome back to Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I am your host, Pat Renwick. This is Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, and right now, from somewhere dark and foreboding, we have the one and only, for the first time ever on this Maniacy, right here. Give it up for Fletcher Shryock. Yeah! Woo!
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All I can see is those amazing teeth of yours right now, Fletch.
Trying to get you some light here. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Oh, now there it is. Perfect. Excellent. And we see that Abu Garcia jersey or hoodie, limited edition. You must have sent that in when you purchased a reel, and you got a free hoodie.
That's what it was. That's how I got it. I bought a hoodie.
There it is. That's a great
rebate.
promotion that's going on right now. Welcome to the show, dude. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy life to come on, dude.
No, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. Just trying to do some driving this afternoon, but the weather's not being too cooperative, so this is actually kind of convenient right now. So thank you guys.
Where are you going, to Walmart right now to get some Fletcher Shryock sunglasses, or
Going to get some glasses. That's right.
and some trebles, some Fletcher trebles?
Right. Because we're going to be doing some cranking down south here before long, so got to
Dude,
stop on those.
I love those trebles of yours, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, let's just get that out of the way right away here, because we figured out a long time ago that you didn't have to spend all that money on those mustads, and you could get the same deal with the Fletch trebles, in the bulk pack.
I appreciate that, dude. Don't tell Kevin that.
We already did. We told him. Don't
He
worry.
knows.
Yeah, he knows all about this. He knows all about it right there.
He doesn't like that deal. I guarantee you that. That's for sure.
But all kidding aside, man, amazing job branding yourself. I mean, that is so important in this industry, and you're knocking it out, dude. You really are. Uh-oh, and Fletch froze right there. He looks good, though. Uh-oh.
Let's try him again.
Did you ever try the Fletcher Shryock trebles, dude?
I have.
I mean, that's the deal.
Yeah.
You go in and you got them at the Walmarts.
Yes,
got
sir.
You got to put, you got to wade through the stink of a Walmart.
It's fine.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you go in there and you find the Fletch trebles, and that's the deal
Yeah.
right there. And you can load up on them. We're trying to get him back on
Did it
the
really?
line right now. And you know how many people
Looked
that I
pretty
have
blizzardy.
seen? You know how many people that I have seen with the Fletcher sunglasses?
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
in Northwest Indiana, I think, seems to own a pair of those.
It's the look of the region.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
Are we back with Fletch? Hello.
I think I can hear
good
this
now.
Okay, I can hear it. There
There
he
he
is.
There
Fletcher
we go.
Shryock.
Cool.
Back again. There's Shryock right there. We did it. Thank God.
I lost when we was talking about Kevin Van Dam's troubles, but make sure you check out mine. Kevin already made enough money.
Exactly. Exactly. I was commending you on the amazing job that you have done of branding yourself. What the heck is going on here? Is he not have 4G LTE?
Looks like he's in a snowpocalypse.
He's not doing too hot.
I don't think he has 4G LTE.
This segment brought to you by 4G LTE.
Yeah. I hope he's got Verizon.
Yeah. Oh.
Wait, did he move?
Hey, I think
Fletch,
he
are
moved.
you back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. Dude, it says I have a poor connection. I apologize, guys. I don't know why this.
That's
It was working fine earlier.
That's okay. We'll make the most of this. The elements are against us, but we shall prevail. That's what we shall do.
That's right.
Forage
That's right.
forward. Man, I just want to say you kind of got into this deal at an early age. Are you with me? I thought that was us. Hey, how about we call you on the phone?
Son of a gun.
Let's do a phone interview with Fletch. Let's
Yeah, that'll
let's
be
dance
easier.
with who brung us and do a phone interview. We'll dial him up on the Google machine. You want me to text him and tell him? There it is, right there.
Do we have a connection?
We have a connection. If we
We
lose
do now.
you, if we lose you again, Fletch, we'll just do a straight up old fashioned 1976 phone interview. How's that sound?
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So let's get back to the nitty gritty. You have been at this deal for a long time. I mean, at an early age. We kind of all know the story about. They call our buddy Brandon Palaniuk the prodigy, but I mean you're kind of a prodigy yourself, aren't you, dude? You've been nailing this for a while.
No, I wouldn't. Brandon's the prodigy, but I did start at a real young age, and my story, I guess, is kind of unique. Thinking back, looking back at my childhood and stuff, it's kind of like I was meant to kind of do this. I wish I had Brandon's success to go with it, but we're still working on that, and I really appreciate you saying that. It means a lot, seriously.
No, and dude, I mean, there's a special kindred spirit amongst bass fishing freaks, okay? That's the common denominator, is that we love bass fishing so much. We talk about it all the time on this show about this bass family that we have and the spirit that we share of bass fishing. And it starts for a lot of us, okay? Not everybody. Some people get in it late in life, but it's something that starts at an early age. And you sure had that, man. And I can totally relate to that because at an early age myself, the pictures of famous athletes were replaced with pictures of like Rick Clunn in my room and Ricky Green and Denny Brower and of course Bill Dance and Jimmy Houston and all the there was like my dad's like, hey man, where's the pictures that were up of Walter Payton, and I'm like, well,
Right. You didn't think that.
He's under Rick Clunn.
Yeah, he's under Rick Clunn now. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
And I mean, and dude, like those early videos that you did, like the spider wire commercial, like from way back, man. We all love that stuff, and it's you were living it, dude. And what a premonition! Like you must have just been like, I can't believe that this happened. I have Spider Wire and Pure Fishing as a title sponsor, and I was plugging this stuff when I was 6 or however old you were, dude.
Well, yeah, I was 9 or 10 when we were making those commercials. But you're right; it's a very unique position to be in when you look. I think I made 4 different commercials whenever I was 9 or 10 years old, and obviously Spider was one of them. You know what I mean? Like, what is the odds that all this, came together the way it has? So, in which they've been, obviously my biggest sponsor and my longest lasting sponsor that I've had ever since the beginning of me fishing the elites, so what are the odds of that, so
Dude,
it's pretty cool.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And bringing it back to Rick Clunn, it's like, you know how Rick Clunn always talks about creative visualization?
Yes.
Do you feel that any of that could be part of this? Was it something that through the brainwaves of Fletcher Shryock that you created this presence that you have with Pure Fishing?
It's funny that you say that. My mom has always preached me that for years, and preached my brothers that exact scenario for years, like trying to teach us that stuff exists. And I'm always like, there's no way. That's a bunch of, crap that you can't visualize and make something happen. And it's funny, like the more as the years go on, like I'm starting to become a believer. Maybe not that you can make everything happen that way, but I really believe that you can visualize a lot of things into existence because you just start to do things that attract what your actual vision becomes, right? So the more that you do those things that you visualize, you almost accidentally that falls into place. So I'd hate to say, I don't want to say that the spider wire deal became about because of that, but I do believe a lot in the visualization thing that Rick Clunn talks about for sure. So maybe it has something to do with it.
Build it and they shall come. Theory.
That's right. That's right. If you want it bad enough, you're going to make it happen. Obviously, if you're wanting it bad enough to visualize it, you're probably more than willing to sacrifice what it's going to take to make it happen. So maybe that's it too,
And you hit it on the head there too, because sacrifice is a crucial element to success in any professional field. And this is evident of sacrifice in itself right here. I mean, you're on the road right now, and you're pulled over doing a stupid bass fishing talk show right now.
I'll say that. So thank you guys. Yeah, there's a lot in this game, that people, and I don't like to talk about it a whole lot because people think you're crying, and that's not the perception that I want to put on at all. But there is a lot that goes on, behind the scenes. I wish that I knew how many hours I put in a year as compared to someone work. A lot of people say, well, you're not working 9 to 5. And granted, I'm happy that I'm not, right? But it's also one of the things, like, I would hate to know how many hours I put in extra than what a lot of other people don't realize. You know what I mean? Just trying to make things happen, trying to make ends meet. You got to go the extra mile so many times. And with our deal, it's not like you have a lot of people working for you. It's kind of you're a one-man show. You've got to do the fishing, you've got to do the promoting, you've got to do all the business side. There's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of sacrifices. But at the end of the day, man, I couldn't ask to do anything else. This is definitely a dream come true. So, but there is a lot of sacrifices involved as well. So,
plus you don't have there's no script. There's nothing written on what you should do or what you shouldn't do too. I mean, you got to be self-disciplined and kind of make your own. You really do make your own hours, but if you don't make them, you're not going to do anything with it, right? I mean, you got to get up and go, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because it seems like you just do so much in this business because you're always trying to find a way to become a better angler. And then beyond that, you're trying to find a way to be a better promoter. You're trying to find a way to get new sponsor deals. And it's like, if I just clock out at 5 o'clock, dude, it doesn't take me very long. And I'm already freaking out, like worrying about what can I do to elevate my game? What can I do to make myself a better angler? What can I do to make myself better on the promoting side? What can I do to make myself better on the business side? So it's almost like you don't want to slack off because these other guys that are out here, everyone wants your position. Everyone wants your job. The guys at the top, I'm gunning for the guys at the top. There's a million guys behind me that want to be me. You know what I mean? And if you're not putting in 16-hour days trying to be a professional bass angler, someone behind you will. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I think about. So there's not a whole lot of rest involved a lot of times,
Yeah.
No time clocks punched
Nope.
in pro bassing. It's constant.
That's right. But we love it, man. It's a passion-driven deal, too, more than anything.
Absolutely, it is. You kind of spent your time growing up fishing, I don't know how to put this. It's like so I'm going to relate this to where you live, but a lot of times we consider where we live the armpit of bass fishing because it's tough, dude. I mean, I'm not going to kid you. It's tough around here. There's 5 fish and we're all fishing for them around here, you know?
And then we go back and try to catch them the next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're our friends, so we must put them back and treat them well. Yeah. But but you grew up fishing that Ohio River, man, and I think there's 7 fish in that entire river.
Isn't there?
And it's a big river too. Yeah, that's for sure. I actually didn't get to fish the river as much as a lot of people think. I would fish there, a handful of times a year. But dude, I'm in the same position I think you guys are in. We've got maybe, 5, 6, 7 lakes around the house, and they all have 5 fish in them each. And it's really one of them deals. And what's funny is the lake closest to my house, they have 3 to 4 tournaments a week, every week from like the ice, from when it's not iced over, they're having 4 tournaments a week on it.
Yes.
So there's tons of pressure, not many fish, but in a way, dude, I think it makes you a better angler. In certain avenues, I think it makes me a better angler, and probably the same for you guys. I think it hurts it sometimes, but there are times where, growing up on tough fisheries helps too,
Absolutely, and because when you get to a good fishery, you really appreciate it even more. It's
you appreciate each bite as well. I mean,
there's no doubt. And you get to like Kentucky Lake, and you're just jacking them, and you're like, wow, I wish we had this at home. It's it makes
That's right. Yeah. But what was funny, like whenever you fish the Elite Series, I'm so used to like just going out and trying to get bites when you fish in Ohio. Well, these guys are used to catching 17, 18, 20 pounds.
Right.
So it's a little bit of an adjustment. When you go to really good fisheries, you had to adjust. Okay, it isn't about catching 5, obviously. It's about catching the biggest ones. How do I go about doing that? So there's a little learning curve there when you go to them really great fisheries. You know what I mean? But
sure. And speaking of learning curve, I mean, speaking of learning curve, Fletcher, you accelerated pretty quick. I mean, you started fishing derbies, I guess you could say on a professional level or semi-professional level in like 2009. And then I think, what was it, like 2011 you won an Open? Was that the deal? And then qualified in 12?
Yeah, when I was 9 and 10 years old, we fished a couple Thursday night tournaments, right?
Okay.
And then I quit and did that. I quit and did the motocross thing for 10 years, 12 years, whatever it was. And then I started fishing local tournaments again in 2009, fished the Bassmaster Opens in 2011, and was lucky and won. Let's be real. It was a lot of luck involved.
Nice.
I made the Elite Series. I won in the Southern Opens. I made the Elite Series in the Northern Opens. And the next year, I'm in the Bassmasters Classic and the Bassmaster Elite Series. And I haven't fished tournaments for quite 3 years yet as an adult, right? So, and even my first year was good. But then the next year 2 and year 3 and even year 4, dude, it kind of caught up with me a little bit because I didn't catch them very good at all. I think everything just kind of caught up, and I had, I had a couple bad years there for sure. But overall, yeah, it's been a crazy ride, and it all has happened so fast, And I appreciate you for following along. That's pretty cool.
No, dude, yeah, we're fans, man. We're fans of the sport and you, of course. And that's why I ask you about the learning curve, because it had to be kind of overwhelming because you get it. Now you're fishing the Elite Series. You're fishing amongst your heroes. They are now your peers, okay? And my question to you is, was there any particular angler that kind of took you under their wing, or were they, who kind of showed you the ropes, dude?
I've made friends with about everyone. There's a lot of great guys in the Elite Series, man. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it's like a big, huge family. You know what I mean? But there was a couple guys really at the end of the day that I feel like that's really helped me out and took me under their wing. And number one, probably being Ish Monroe. The guys helped me with so many things on and off the water. Now, at the end of the day, obviously, we're still competitors, but the dude's helped me so much with so many different things. I don't know if I could repay him for a lot of the stuff that he's done. So he's definitely been, and I don't mean to name just him. There's several others that have helped me on many different levels, through the years. So it's been a pretty cool deal.
Is it
and
true?
A lot of the guys, like you said, they were my heroes coming in. I knew them from watching TV, from watching Bassmasters, from watching Major League Fishing, before I was even, I think Major League Fishing had started right about the same time I had joined the Elites, which was kind of new, but still, I'm still a fan of the sport too. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see your heroes that are also your friends as well, and to have them help you and be friends is pretty cool.
Is it true that whenever Tommy Biffle sees you, he tries to bend the brim of your hat and not make it flat anymore? Is that a true story?
Yeah,
or
Tommy always gives me a hard time. There's no doubt.
he's always trying to bend JP's hat.
We put one of my flat bills on Tommy one time and took a picture. It was pretty interesting.
That's outstanding.
back in He actually let us put one on him.
Nice. And then you put his shorts on, right? Was that the
Yeah,
compromise?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
wish
put
I
it on
had
me.
that photo though. That'd be a good one.
That would be outstanding. You brought up MLF, dude, and we love you on the MLF. And
Yeah,
my
man.
co-host here, Popcorn, he's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. He's a skateboarder, he's a drummer, and he's a bass fisherman.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're like one of his biggest. Can we say idols? Do you have a?
Sure.
He actually told me he has a man crush on you.
I did
Oh,
not
here
say
we
that,
go,
but
here we
it's
go.
not totally untrue.
Yeah,
I guess.
But
I mean,
dude, I mean
It was until you admitted it, right?
Yeah,
Right.
That's okay. He's secure enough to admit that. But the deal.
it's
I
the
mean,
second time I've done it today. Actually.
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, man, you've been doing good on MLF, and that last one that's airing now, where you won that one. What was that in Arkansas? It's like,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, if I put it this way, if I pulled up to that stuff, and when I did the ride around and saw those flooded bushes, dude, I'd have a Woody right there for all that. I mean, that was.
I did. That's why a lot of people were like, "Why were you so confident?" And I'm just like, "Because the bushes are in the water."
Yeah.
Like, not that I knew I was going to win, but it was just I like fishing that way. You know what I mean?
That's my favorite part about watching you on there is the confidence. It's crazy. I mean, the only other guy I've seen on there look at something and just be like, That's KVD.
Yeah.
You did the same thing like when
Really?
you found those fish in LaCrosse. Yeah, it was like the same kind of moment when you saw that grass and you caught one and you're like, okay,
He knew it.
this is gonna work.
He knew
Yeah,
it.
it's awesome to see that. Not a lot of the guys are doing that, and mostly because they, they're not that confident about it. But I gotta ask you too, do you ever do that? I do this sometimes on the water where I'll trick myself into thinking what I'm doing is totally right. Even if I'm doubting it a little bit, I'll be like, this is it. But I don't
Yeah,
totally
that's-
believe it. But you just do it and tell yourself
You
that.
do
you
it
that?
anyway, and it burns you, and then you're not
Right.
the hero. And
Right.
I've done that many times. It's like there's been many times like this is it, but it's funny. Like obviously, I like to flip, and I've done it wrong as many times as I've done it. Well, I've done it wrong a whole lot more times than I've done it right, obviously. And I think you have to experience all those bad times. You have to experience all the times that you fail to know when it's right. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
fallen on my face a lot of times flipping grass. I've fallen on my face a lot of times. I don't want to say a lot of times, but flipping bushes. I may not land them all. That's always the challenge for me,
Right.
flipping bushes or flipping the right types of bushes and things like that. But over time, you just start to recognize when it's right. And just so happened that I was fortunate in those MLF events that the timing was right. And once I recognized it, once you've seen it enough, it's going to happen. So, I was fortunate too that the timing of those events kind of was on my side as well. If that makes sense.
Right.
For
Yeah, it was
sure.
awesome to see.
It's all about that
Thank you.
learning curve, man. That's the learning curve. It's
Right, but like I said, I've had to fall on my face a lot of times to get to that point too. So to answer your question, I know exactly what you're talking about. You can believe something, think it, it's the way to catch them, and it just doesn't work out. But what I see a lot of times looking back is there's always a reason for that. But it's
Right.
those experiences that make you allow you to recognize the times that it's right and the times that it's wrong. So just like Jacob Wheeler with the topwater,
Yeah.
just by watching those events this winter, I learned a lot from him. Just watching MLF and following some of his stuff because he is so good at the topwater. I knew he was a topwater guy before. I'd seen some articles and stuff, but I really learned a lot just by watching him because that's his strong suit. And he was obviously, used that technique to win the whole entire championship. And I learned a lot just from watching him. And I guarantee you, he's got the same story. He's done it wrong so many times that he knows when it's right and he knows when it's wrong, which is huge, in a day of fishing. So
Yeah.
You know what's cool about MLF too, and when we have you guys on this show that compete in the MLF as well as the elites or the FLW tour, whatever it may be, the common denominator is not only do you guys compete in Major League Fishing, but you all seem to watch it as well on television. You're the same way. I mean, you watch the events, correct?
yeah, in the summertime, dude, I don't get to watch anything.
Right,
But when
right.
it comes to this time of year, like I'm so ate up with it, I couldn't sit. I like to watch football. Don't get me wrong, but beyond that, I can't just sit on a Tuesday afternoon and not be thinking, breathing, fishing all the way. So if I turn the TV on, dude, it's going to be fishing. And honestly, the MLF stuff, I really like watching. I feel like even as a pro angler, I learn a lot from watching that show. And that's why I'm tuned in, just to learn more from the other guys. You know what I mean? But throughout the year, I don't get to watch a lot of the stuff. So it makes this, this time of year, I spend a lot of time doing it.
And now I'm going to ask you now ahead of time. Do not be politically correct when you answer this question, okay?
All right.
All right.
Scared?
Okay.
What you going?
So there's good fishing shows on television, and there's bad fishing shows on television. Agree or disagree?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Give me an example of a bad one.
Come on now. I'm not going to do that.
Come on. I know. I can give you an example.
What do you got?
Fishing University. Charlie Ingram.
Okay.
I like Charlie Ingram a lot, but that show just bores the snot out of me.
with you.
I learned some stuff off Charlie Ingram, though. I wouldn't say that's too bad.
No, it's
Oh yeah, of him for sure. Maybe
yeah,
not
off
the
of
show.
Charlie for sure. But I don't care for diamond gusset jeans. I just have no place in my life for those.
Right. I hear you.
All right, enough of that.
Anyways.
let's get with the serious part of this show. So now,
All right.
okay, so if you, let's say that Bass proposed a rule and that you had to have a mascot, an animal, on the boat with you at all times to fish the Elite Series. What would that mascot be? What would you bring with you, Fletch? Who would be your pet?
I have to say my French bulldog, Steve.
Your French Bulldog, Steve. That's outstanding.
He would be there.
If
For
I was
sure.
in the
He's my
Elites,
little buddy.
I would have a monkey. I would bring a little monkey with me, like in that Hangover movie.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, that would be my pet on the Elite Series tour.
Where would he sit when you were fishing?
Wherever he wanted.
Just be hanging
Yeah,
on your shoulder.
It's a monkey, for crying out loud. You can't control those things.
He'd just be sitting on your power pole all the time.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
He'd be right up on the back on the power pole.
Looking for sight fish.
Exactly. Or
Right.
I would teach him how to rig stuff for me. He'd be like my little monkey caddy is what I would have going on.
You might have to put some bananas in the boat to feed him.
That
then.
we don't do that.
Which, yeah.
We don't
You
do
don't
that.
do that?
No,
That monkey might starve.
I do not. They say that superstitions really don't matter, but I'm that guy, man. I mean, I won't. If I'm driving down the street in my truck and I see a black cat go across the road, dude, I'm turning around. I ain't crossing that. I'm never gonna.
Right.
Eat, I will never eat at a restaurant named Mom's. That is forbidden. I will never do that. That is not happening. Whenever I go fishing, I always have my Lucky Mighty Thor hat with me. That must be with me.
That is true.
At all the time. No, whether I'm wearing it.
No bananas. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and I always must have cinnamon Pop-Tarts in my tackle bag. I might not eat them, but there has to be cinnamon Pop-Tarts. I'm one of the most
So you're
superstitious.
very superstitious.
Yeah, dude. I just
And you must have the trolling motor on 80.
Yes, and I
Ripping down the
always
bank.
have it on 80, and I always fish the bank because I'm scared of deep water. But okay, anyway, enough about me, but what about me? So let's get back to these rules. I was having dinner with Trip Weldon today. Actually, when you called me, I was eating dinner with Trip. You didn't know that, did
Okay.
you? Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we were at Long John Silver's. He got the number 8 Admiral platter, and I got the baked fish. It was outstanding. And
And where was you at?
Long John Silver's, me and Trip,
Where at?
Hammond, Indiana. Yeah, it's a true story I just made up, Fletch. Come on.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
I
is
was
the
confused
glorified.
for a second.
This is the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Remember that. It's not even real. So here's the deal. So I was talking with Trip, and he said, "Hey, I got this new rule, and I want you to run it by Fletcher tonight. And it's going to be that in the 2018 Elite Series, you are only allowed 4 rod and reel combos and 4 baits to use. Okay? It's called 3 on deck, 1 in hand. It's the new rule that Trip Weldon and I came up with together. 2 masterminds, and we thought alike. We thought this would make things interesting in the Elite Series. Now, if you had to pick those 4 rod and reel combos and 4 baits to cover all aspects of your 2018 Elite Series, what would they be, Fletcher?
Well, obviously, it's probably going to be. I might have 2 of the 4 flipping sticks just because.
I'm with you. Speaking your language.
I got to have a big, at least one big flipping stick. with spider wire braid, Abu Garcia Villain 2.0 rod, medium heavy action, 7.6, 7.11, one of those two, just for obviously all the flipping and pitching stuff. I try to make that work everywhere I go. You know what I mean? The second thing I would probably have to have, I'm not much of a spinning rod guy, but if I only had to pick 4 rods, a Senko is going to probably be something that has to be there, right?
Gotta have
so
one.
A spinning rod with a Senko is going to be key, whether you rig it on a shaky head, jig head, or wacky rigged or Texas rigged. That's obviously going to be a major player. One thing I do like to do a lot that a lot of people may not realize. People's trying to call me. You guys still there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Something else that I do a lot of people may not know about, I like to crank a lot, so a square bill is definitely going to have to be in the boat. I like that new Ike Delay Series rod, the new Abu Garcia Ike Delay Series rod from Abu Garcia. It's a great cranking rod.
Sure.
And then the fourth one, depending on where we are, man, I'm going to have to say a top water of some sort, probably a buzz bait. I'm just trying to make my fishing over the years, obviously we was talking about the learning curve, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm starting to learn at this point is simplify things. I think what happened early on is I only knew how to do so many things, and I had success. I went through a couple years where I started to become okay at a lot of different techniques, so I became confused, and I had 25 different ways I knew how to catch a bass, but I never really got back. Now I feel like I'm back to the roots. I'm back to the basics of what I'm good at. So a top water, a buzz bait would be good. And what's funny, it would probably take a few more than 4 rods, but I could almost go 8 rods all year and probably have the best season,
Right.
that I've had. So another one that's big for me, actually, it's becoming a strong suit of mine is a swim jig too. Because
Sure.
I'm finding different ways to fish a swim jig in several different ways, and that thing's very effective. I had a very good tournament this year at Okeechobee on a swim jig, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more, and I'm finding more ways to utilize that bait too. So
We got one of the masters of swim
fine,
jigging.
but I may have to substitute one here or there if I really. That'd be like a late night decision on which one I was going to take. So
You call the audible to figure that one out.
that's right.
That's right.
That's the midnight audible call before the tournament. Which one I'm going to take?
What's the reel of choice in all these? I noticed you throwing that ALX a lot.
Dude, that's my favorite. That Abu Garcia ALX and the 6-4-1 and the 8-1 is my reel of choice. I really like the new Premier, but I like the ALX so much I really haven't had to, vary off of it. And I like a lot of my stuff the same too.
Me too.
So it's real easy for me to pick up ALX for everything and just go. All that new Premier is sweet. The MGXs are awesome, but I've just fell in love with that ALX. I think they're a $250 reel, but they might as well be a $600 reel to me because I like them that much. I have not need to pick up any of the other ones. So, and obviously I have the access to them. I just really like that reel.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I asked. I noticed you using that ALX, and I used to flip with the Rocket all the time, but I switched to the ALX and the 8-1 for the flipping now is what I've done. Actually, I like that.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a little bit heavier than the MGX, but that weight doesn't bother me at all. It's a little bit stronger of a reel if I want to use braid, if I want to frog, if I want to punch mats. Not that the MGX wouldn't hold up to it. It's just not necessarily made to handle that kind of pressure as with the ALX is, so really, it's a really good reel. That's funny that that I throw that reel too. That's cool. And I'm glad that you have one and you like it as well.
Dude, we're bass
We
geeks.
watched close.
Yeah, we it's probably stupid how much we know. But yeah, I'm very, very observant
And
about that.
thank you for letting me know why I got your Rockets now.
Yeah.
Because you're holding out on me, the ALX.
I am like
I love the Rockets, though.
I am like
They're
Fletcher,
awesome.
and I like all the frame sizes to be the same. And when Abu changed the frame sizes, I went to ALX, Premiers, MGX, and MGX Dreams because they all have the same frame sizes. That's
Exactly.
That's
Glad I'm not the only one with the same theory.
yeah, and it's like Rick Clunn. Back to Rick Clunn. Yeah. He started it. It's like he gave that analogy of, okay, you're playing basketball and you're shooting baskets with a full-size basketball and you're sinking them left and right. Now somebody throws you a bitty ball and says continue to shoot. It takes you a moment to adjust to the proper feel, I guess, or readjustment period of your equipment.
Yeah.
Same thing with the rods and reels, man. Same thing with the rods and reels. Hey, I don't know what you know about this show, but we like to play game shows here. And I know that you used to be, I don't know if you still are actually, but you used to be a motocross freak. Are you still?
Yeah, that's funny you were mentioning changing things. I learned that exact scenario you were talking about, the basketball deal with motocross. Because it was the same way. I learned that early on. If I had a different, like we'd have 2 or 3 bikes at the races, and I physically, you could take 2 bikes that were almost identical to the eye, and I couldn't hardly ride the other one if you changed the shifter 1 notch or changed the brake lever or the clutch lever. It would throw me off so much, and that's another reason why I like to keep consistent with my equipment moving forward. I learned that from motocross. But continue on to the game. I'm sorry to get off subject.
No, you led me in perfect. I love it. I love it right there. We're going to play a game called the B.A.S.S match game here, okay? And I am going to give you some motocross terms. Now, forgive me because I've been out of the motocross game for a while, you know.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, so I might be dating myself a little bit with some of these terms here, but what I'm going to give you is some motocross terms, and I would love for you to relate them to bass fishing. Are you game for this game show?
Let's go. I think this will be good.
Let's do it. Let's play a little bit of B.A.S.S match game right here. Ah, yes, it's the B.A.S.S match game. With Elite Series professional Fletcher Shryock, I'm your host, Pat Renwick. It's the motocross edition of the B.A.S.S match game. Fletcher, the first word to you is block pass. The block pass.
The block pass. That's when someone cuts you off going down a bank, and you just hurry up and fire the engine and cut them back off.
Yes, that is good job.
Nice.
He nailed it.
I've had to do that. A time or two. Then they don't like to block pass you back.
I thought that was called the Biffle Pass.
That's a biffle pass also. Yes, it is.
That's what you do to the biffle pass is you block pass.
Damn it, I cased it. Damn it, I cased it.
Not getting the bait far enough.
Not getting the bait far enough.
That's like saying they're schooling out in front of the boat and you cast it out there right whenever the 5-pounders are blowing up everywhere and your spook lands about 5 feet before them. You know?
Yeah, it's like landing on the gear case
You're
before
just
you
short.
get over the berm.
Yeah, you're just short.
Boom, it's right there. Okay.
Just short of the schooling fish. Damn it, I cased them.
Goon riding. Going goon riding.
That's the deal whenever you pull up to a spot and you don't trim your motor down and the front of the boat just porpoises for about a quarter of a mile before you shut down. That's goon riding.
Or that could be being a squid too, right? I mean, that could be the total squid right
Same
there.
deal. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Guy's
Co-anglers love that.
Open to shut down. He's just wall.
Yeah.
By the time he shuts down, the fish are already scattered.
I rode with a guy one time as a co-angler, and he was looking for a school of fish for about 20 minutes, doing that the whole time.
He was goon riding. That's goon
Yeah,
riding,
that's
man.
what he's doing it on purpose, man. Just
Yeah.
riding.
Completely clapped out. Completely clapped out.
I'd have to use that to describe Ike and Ellie's boat. About halfway through the week.
Halfway through the week. It's seen better days. It's been completely
right.
clapped out. In the last
Brand
one.
new boat, brand new wrap, brand new equipment, but just things are a disaster. You know?
We've seen it firsthand. I'll tell you a quick story. We were at Ike's this summer, and we were all sitting around his boat. It was me, Ike, Cliff Crochet, Steve Kennedy, our producer, Andy, and Steve Kennedy says to Ike and Ellie, he goes, Mike, this is your boat from this year? Because it was just so beat up. Kennedy was like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, it was clapped out.
Probably wasn't even one he put in the woods either.
Yeah, it was clapped out. And here's the last one, and this is completely universal between the sport of motocross and bass fishing. The old sandbagger. The old sandbagger.
Oh, shit. That's everyone in the Elite Series right there.
That's everyone in the Elite Series. We'll leave it right there. I think he won. Did he not win?
Yes.
He definitely won the motocross edition.
First place.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You won a signed autographed Stray Cast sticker. I hope you're happy about that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes. Hey, Fletcher, thank you so much, dude, for taking time out of your day, your evening, and coming on this show, dude. You don't know how much we appreciate it, man.
No, thank you guys so much, and seriously, thank you for following along and supporting me and kind of keeping track of me. That means a lot. Seriously, thank you.
Absolutely.
And comparing me to Kevin Van Dam for anything that's probably the first time I've ever heard that. So that's going to stick with me for a while. I can't thank you guys enough.
Your
Seriously.
trebles are better, dude. Your
you.
trebles are just flat out better.
Well, they're cheaper.
They are.
They're cheaper anyway, so you got to try them anyhow.
It's the same damn treble, and it's cheaper.
Every now and then
They're
I've gotta
available
get
at
in there
every
and bend
store
them
in
out a
America.
little bit.
What's that?
Have you noticed some of them are really bent inward?
Yeah, there's some very.
Sometimes you got to open them up a little bit, but other than that, them things have been money for me. So.
That's okay, and I wish they had them in more sizes. I know you make them in the 2, 4s, and 6s, but I mean, it seems like
Get some 8s.
The spot that sells them seems to just have the 2s and the 6s. At least our local one does anyway. So send them a letter.
Right.
Send them a letter, would you? For crying out loud.
I would like to. I'd like to make them in between sizes too. I'd like to make a 3 and a 5 because Kevin doesn't have those.
There you go.
Boom. Market corner. The branding master right there, Fletcher Shryock. Thank you so much, dude. Safe travels, okay? And good luck on the 2018 Elite Series.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you guys so much and take care. If you guys ever need anything, give me a shout.
Awesome. We will do. That's Fletcher Shryock right there. He's on his way to pick up a brand new boat. He took time out to talk to us here on Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. It's the Pride, the Hoosier Pride, Bill Lowen, coming at us when we return. We'll be right back.
Outrageous Outdoors is quickly becoming the industry leader in tournament fishing apparel. There's no better way to represent your sponsors than with a Outrageous jersey. At Outrageous, you can get a short sleeve, long sleeve, sweatpants, the best prices in the industry. Outrageous also offers club and team discounts, special high school and college prices. Our website is easy to navigate, and Outrageous' staff will make the process quick and easy for you. Outrageous Outdoors, offering high-quality tournament apparel for the weekend angler. Outfit yourself from head to toe. Check out Outrageous online at www.outrageous.com.
Oh, yes. Welcome back to Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Right now, we have our buddy coming on the show. He's from Indiana, just like us, or just like me. These guys are from Chicago. But he is the Hoosier Pride. He is a Bassmaster, Elite Series professional. Our buddy. Give it up for Bill Lowen. Right here. Woo! Yeah! It's Bill Lowen. What's up, Bill?
What's going on, guys?
You look phenomenal, Bill.
Awesome.
What's
I got all dressed up just for you.
I could tell. I like it, man.
Thank you.
I like it, dude. Thanks for coming on the show here.
Hey, thanks for having me as always.
I think we were sitting around last weekend. I think we already did a show amongst ourselves. So I we were just sitting around shooting the crap and pretty much did a bass fishing talk show on our own last week. But nobody watched it. So now we get a chance for a few people to see this here. But Bill, what does that even mean? I have no idea. But Bill.
Got it. Nailed it.
Bill, you ever see that movie Sandlot?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm talking about.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay. Now, there's some famous quotes from that movie. Of course, the most famous one that they even make T-shirts about is "You're killing me, Smalls." Everybody knows that one. You're killing me, Smalls. But there's a quote, okay, that sticks out the most to me from that movie, and it says, "Man, this is baseball. You got to stop thinking and just have fun. That's bass fishing right there. That's not just baseball, buddy.
Absolutely.
That's bass fishing. And
Everything.
exactly. It's life in general. And I think sometimes in bass fishing, we just think about it too much. And we kind of forget that we need to stick to the basics. We need to stick to the basics. You know what I'm saying? And I know that applies to you,
Absolutely.
Bill. I know that applies to you. And I read somewhere that you kind of brought that out amongst yourself there, that you did not stick to the basics in 2017, did you? You kind of wandered a little, didn't you?
I did. I kind of wandered, and I caught myself doing some things that I typically wouldn't do, and I caught myself not doing some things that I typically would do. So I think that's what 2018 is going to be about, is getting back to the basics, and fishing in my comfort zone. And we're just going to see how it plays out this year.
So why did you leave the comfort zone? What was that? Why did you do it?
I don't know. I don't have an excuse or any reason why. I mean, I'll just use Lake Conroe at the Bassmaster Classic, for example. I never went up the river. I mean, really?
Right.
I mean, I always
You're Bill Lowen.
I always start in the river and end up wherever else, but for whatever reason, I didn't go up there. And as you've seen from a lot of that footage, a lot of the guys that did really well in that event were up the river, and I was down by the dam. So just, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff is not going to happen this year.
You're going to dance with who brung you, aren't you?
Absolutely.
2018 is a year of change already for you. I mean, I already see you getting back to the roots, dude. It's evident. You got a new. You got a new boat sponsor, dude, and that boat sponsor, I could not think of a person on the Bassmaster Elite Series that your new boat is absolutely perfect for you, man. Tell us about it, dude.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I've went with Express boats this year. They're an aluminum boat. But I hate to say that it's an aluminum boat because it doesn't perform like an aluminum boat. I think when a lot of guys think about an aluminum flat bottom boat, that's not what this is. This has all the performance that any glass boat would have, with the added benefits of being able to fish as hard as you want and access places that maybe you couldn't access before. And I just got my boat here to the house, and I've been crawling around in it for the last couple of days, trying to get it ready. And the more I crawl around in it, the more excited I get. And it's going to be a phenomenal year. It's just going to be, like you said, man, we're getting back to our roots. We're going fishing the way I like to fish. And it's either going to work or it ain't.
Now, we say it's the year of change for you. So, but change is scary to, I don't know, maybe most humans, I mean, change is not always the greatest thing to accept or embrace, but it seems like this change has actually got you a little excited, dude. There's like a kindred spirit here.
It does. It's kind of lit a little fire in me, after last season, and I look at every year. I feel like if you don't make the Bassmaster Classic, you didn't have a great year, but I finished good in the Angler of the Year points. I missed the Classic by a little bit, but on that drive home from the AOY event, knowing you didn't make the Bassmaster Classic, it was just like, man, I can't believe you did some of the things you did. And for all the exciting things that have been happening, up to now, it's lit that fire. It's got me excited to go, and we just can't wait to get started.
So talking about going back to the roots, okay, you're going. You got a new boat sponsor. That's a shallow water boat. I guess in essence we could call it a shallow water boat, although it does much more. But give us some more examples of you going back to your roots in 2018. What do you feel that your strengths are, Bill?
Well, I'm a shallow water angler for sure, without a doubt. That is my comfort zone. I try to make that style happen wherever we go in the country. The schedule sets up really good for that this year, to be able to fit my style of fishing. So we're just, like you said, we're going back to our roots. We're just going to fish the way that I fish. We are partnering with some great companies this year, not only Express, but Drake waterfowl as well. And the same guys that have been with me for a while now, Lure Parts Online and Buck Knives and those guys. It's just, it's going to be a great year.
Green pumpkin or black and blue, Bill? That's what you told me.
Yeah.
Green pumpkin or black and blue.
That's it.
Don't stray.
I've been looking at all the tackle that I've been carrying for the last 5 or 6 years in the truck, and we're leaving it all at the house this year. We are going as simple as it comes, black and blue, green pumpkin, some jigs, some tubes, some creature baits, some square bills, some spinner baits. We're going. That's what we're going to do this year.
Awesome.
Super simple. And
Yeah.
leave the spike it markers at home. You taught us
and their
that
color
last
selector.
We'll still probably bring those with us.
Don't forget the color selector.
Don't forget your color selector. That is right. and a load of helicopter lures.
Just black out all the ones that aren't green pumpkin or black and blue.
That's the sleeper. That's the sleeper right there. When I think of Bill Lowen, I obviously think shallow water fishing, but I think of you as a cranker, and not a cranky guy, not a cranky old man or nothing like that, Bill, but I think of you as a cranker, and I think of you as a swim jig fisherman, man. And dude, I don't even think that you could count how many fish you've caught on that swim jig, can you?
No, it's hard to say.
That's, absolutely crazy. And we talked a little bit last weekend about this, and I thought it was an awesome story that why you fish braid on all the time when you're throwing a swim jig. And I don't subscribe to that school. I actually throw fluorocarbon, and I know it's kind of it's a mixed bag on what people like to do. But tell us why you throw braid on that swim jig. What made you learn your lesson? Tell us about that famous fish.
Oh, you're gonna make me go into that story.
I absolutely am, because it's outstanding.
That story would be my very first year on the Elite Series. We were at Sam Rayburn, and the first day of that event. Now this is going back, 12 years or however long ago that was, and I used to swim on fluorocarbon as well. Well, that morning, I started out good, caught like a 5 and a 6, and lost a couple, and then which is probably the biggest fish somewhere between 12 and 15 pounds, and it breaks me off. And that boat, fish swims right by the boat, kind of winks at me when it goes by. And I have Bob Sealy in the boat with me that runs all the big bass events, down in Texas. And he's like, Bill, you just lost the tournament. And if I would have caught that one, if I'd have kept that one bite, I think I would have won the event. So ever since then, I've swam on braid, and I don't ever see a reason to not swim on braid.
Yeah. Now realize at home, Bill's connection was kind of breaking up there a little bit, but he said it was a 12 to 15 pound bass. That's going to educate you quick. Okay? That's it. So if you got a 12 to 15 pound bass break you off, and it swims right by the boat and just says, "Sorry, Bill, have a great day," that it's going to change your mind about what you're doing. That's what went down right there, man. So now you're always swimming on braid. That's the deal. Always, right? Never an exception.
Always 30-pound braid. To me, 30-pound braid acts like fishing line still. Okay,
Sure.
I don't like to swim in 65. I feel like it takes away from the jig. I always say it's like swimming on a jump rope. You know what I mean? So I go with 30 because it still acts like fishing line. I can get the maximum action out of it. If you overpower it with too heavy a braid, you take away some of the action. And I want to do everything I can do to trigger, 1 or 2 extra bites throughout the day.
And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're fishing clear water or dirty water. It's going to be braid regardless.
It doesn't matter. 30-pound, high seas, Grand Sand braid all the time. Dirty, clear, swimming pool, whatever.
So, see, now another thing that I know about you, I got this privy information here, is that it seems kind of counteractive because you flip with lighter line than a lot of guys do, but you're still throwing the swim jig on the 30-pound braid. So how do you get away with flipping with the lighter line as opposed to, when like most guys?
Well, you can look at it like this. I think most guys are swimming. They're 65 pounds. So pretty lighter on the braid side. You know what I mean? And I see where a lot of guys are flipping, dominantly 20 or 25-pound fluorocarbon. I try to go with, 15 to 20-pound fluorocarbon. I always try to get away with the lightest line that I can get away with because I feel like I can get the maximum. And I think the more action you can get out of your bait, the more bites you're going to get. And at the end of the year, that's huge. You know what I mean? So talk about using the light line. If you make sure you just use good quality fluorocarbon line, and be responsible with it. I always tell people that if you're not going to be responsible, you're not going to check your line, you're not going to retie your knots. Fluorocarbon is not for you. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Just use good quality line, man. And
So it's not necessarily that the line size is visible to the fish. It's more the action that lighter line gives to the bait that is getting you more bites, correct?
Absolutely. I pay a tremendous amount of detail to rate of fall and, how a bait darts or how it hops when you hop it. And I just think I just feel like you owe that bait, kill the act bait. I like my bait to dart around and, trigger that reaction bite that we're trying to get.
There it is, right there. So don't be afraid to flip with too light a line, right there. Hey, we got the phone lines open apparently right now. If anybody wants to call in and talk to Bill, the number is what's the number? 520-214-BASS.
B.A.S.S.
520-214-BASS. See how I did that, Bill? I got BASS in the phone number. Whoa.
Awesome. Spilled your drink.
I almost spilled my TH Marine mug. But hey, so let's take some calls. What do you say? Let's do it. Let's talk to Bill Lowen right now. And we might even give away some prizes here if I'm feeling generous. All right. Hey, we got a caller on the line. Welcome to Straight Cast. How you doing, Fish on the Line?
Hey, what's up, Pat? It's Matt from Michigan.
What's up, Matt from Michigan? What are you up to?
Oh, just hanging out as usual, listening to the show.
Nice. Hey, Bill Lowen's here. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Nice. What you want to talk to Bill? You got any crazy questions for him?
I'm not really crazy. I wanted to ask him, so the 30-pound braid, swim jig, and what action and length rod would you be throwing that on?
I typically throw out a Bill Lowen Signature Series Castaway swim jig rod. It's a 7.6 rod. It's actually it's built on a flip and stick frame, but it has a bait tip. Allows you to make them nice roll casts and be able to skip that bait very easy. But the rod has a lot of backbone. When you get that bite, you can set that hook. So that would be the rod that I would choose. And I think the reel is very important as well. Use a high-speed reel. I use a Lose Light, 7.5 to 1 gear ratio. It's very important to have that high-speed reel because a lot of times them fish get you out of position because they are so aggressive. So that would take up that line is very, very important.
Awesome. So the high-speed reel, the braided line, and the rod with the kind of the limber tip to take up that shock.
Absolutely.
There it is, Matt. Excellent question, dude. You got anything else for
I
Bill?
appreciate it, as always.
Awesome. Matt from Michigan, thanks for calling, dude.
Stole my question.
You had that already for Bill. See how he did that, Popcorn?
Worked my question.
So let's do a trivia question for Bill, and we'll give away, if they get this right, we're gonna give them a Bill Lowen dollar bill PH Custom Lures crankbait, and we're also gonna give them a Wesley Strader Ploppin' Pea. If you can get this right, and I'm gonna make it easy for these guys, Bill. Don't you think I should?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's what you got to do. You got to answer it live on the air to win this prize. Again, the number is 520-214-2277. Here's the question. Bill, I know you know the answer to this because you wrote it on your hand when I saw you last time. But
let me get my phone so I can call in and win me some business.
You want to win some pH. But in his B.A.S.S. career, Bill Lowen has caught 4,589 pounds of bass. 4,589 pounds of bass. Can you believe that, Bill?
I wish it was a little higher, but
It's still a lot of LBs. And you have won 1,000, or excuse me, 1 million,
Yeah.
$1,069,645. My trivia question to you, viewing audience, is how many dollars per pound does that equate to? So you got to be a good mather to get this right here. First off, I'll give you the numbers again. Bill's caught 4,589 pounds of bass. He has won $1,069,645 in his BASS career. How many dollars per pound does that equate to? I know Jennifer knows the answer to that, but we want one of you guys to answer this. We're going to give you a dollar bill, PH Custom Lures crankbait, and a Wesley Strader Plop and P. Call us up if you know the answer. 520-214-2277.
that dollar bill would be an awesome bait to win right now, especially since it seems like everywhere in the country it's cold water right now, and that's when that bait excels the best.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you always talk a lot about the magic of cold water cranking. You hear a lot of other guys talk about fishing that jerkbait, okay, or fishing the jig, and I know you do all that, but you really have a tremendous amount of confidence in that flat side crankbait, don't you, man?
That would be one of my favorite times of the year to crank, is that early springtime, when them waters are in the low 40s, when it's stretching up there to the 50-degree mark. There's no funner way to catch them than on that flat side of balsa bait.
Hey, Bill, is there ever a time where it's too cold to catch them cranking?
I would say no, just for the simple fact that if it's that cold, we're probably not going to be out there, or there's going to be ice on the water,
Right. So as long as the water's soft?
I think as long as the water's soft, and I think the biggest key with cold water cranking that I think a lot of guys miss is you need to get that bait down to the bottom, keep it in bottom contact as slow as you possibly can. That's the whole key. Fish that bait as slow as you can. I think the biggest mistake I see guys making is they fish them baits way too fast, especially when the water's cold.
Now, what's slow? Like just fast enough to where it's thumping?
Just, get it down to the bottom and slow enough just to maintain feel and to maintain bottom contact. And, sometimes when it's cold, you may have to weight that bait down with some suspend dots or something to help keep it down there.
Mm-hmm.
But keep it down there as slow as you can. Low gear ratio reels, 5 to 1s. If you think you're fishing it slow, try to fish it slower.
Nice.
Can't fish it slow enough, and just sweeping it. And you said you're usually throwing that on like 12 or 10 pound fluoro. That's your deal.
12-pound fluorocarbon for me always.
Always 12.
Always 12.
Never dipping it down.
Hey guys.
Nope.
I hate to do this, but
Yeah.
we're missing a lot of good stuff because he's kind of cutting in and out.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we had a viewer suggest turn off the video and the audio should be fine. You don't have enough bandwidth, is what he's saying. So if you want to give that a try, he's giving up good stuff. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. Our connection's a little shaky with you here, Bill. I don't know how it seems on your end if we're coming out clear.
So all he needs
Yeah,
to
you're
do
coming out great.
We're coming out good.
So if he turns off
Yes.
the video.
Yes. Can we try turning your video off and just going off?
Yeah, Bill, can you try that? Just turning your...
Yeah, and just go to audio. Try that on your end.
All right, let's see here.
We'll put a pretty picture of you up.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
How's that?
That
now?
help?
So
I
far,
think,
so
I
good.
think it did.
Yeah.
All right, yes.
Wow, you sound crystal clear. It sounds like you're in the next room now, Bill.
Thank you, viewer.
I am. Hey, we're rookies at this. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. We're just figuring it out too.
Thank you,
We're
Craig, on the Facebook.
we're getting back to the roots is what we're doing.
Nice.
We're getting back to the roots. And thank you, JP, right there. Hey, I want to talk a little bit more about that cold water cranking. And obviously you designed that that dollar bill crankbait for PH with your technique of flat side cranking in mind. And that crankbait's a little different than a lot of flat side crankbaits in the fact that it has some action to it. A lot of flat sides are just plain old nothing to it, kind of. You can't even feel it at all.
Right.
But that dollar bill, it's got a little thump to it, doesn't it, Bill?
Well, yeah, like you said, so many crankbaits that are good in cold water have that tight wiggle to them. And I like a flat-sided bait that has what I call a little bit of resistance to it. I want to be able to feel what that bait's doing, and that's what we did with that dollar bill. We put a little wider lip in it, and it didn't increase the action of the bait hardly at all. It still has a really tight wiggle. What that did is give that bait some resistance, so now you can feel what it's doing. You can stay in contact with that bait, and that's exactly why we designed that dollar bill.
Yeah, right there. Have you ever hand carved your own crankbait, like in the spare time that you don't have?
I have not.
That takes a lot of patience, doesn't it?
It does, and that's funny you say that. That's kind of how PH Custom Lures started out. You know what I mean? Hand carved in the garage, and it's progressed to what it is today.
Just in there, Phil Hunt just carving away.
Absolutely. Could you imagine that?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of scary, that thought, actually. The word carve and Phil Hunt in the same sentence gets a little scary sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And exciting, all at the same time.
Hey, another quote. Let's go back to Sandlot, man. I want to talk a little more Sandlot with you. And another famous quote from Sandlot is, he says, remember, kid. This is the Babe talking now. He says, remember, kid, there's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die. Follow your heart, kid. You can never go wrong. That's bass fishing too, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's crazy. And bass fishing is filled with heroes and legends. I mean, I guess you could compare the heroes of bass fishing to kind of fly-by-nighters, maybe. I don't know, for lack of a better way to put it, fly-by-nighters. And those legends are the ones that stand the test of time. And to me, Bill, I mean, dude, you've been, how many years you been at this now? Like 12 years or something?
Yeah, I think we're going into my 12th year, I believe.
Okay, 12 years you've been at this. You've fished 127 derbies, and you've been in the money 88 times. 88 times, dude, out of 127 derbies. Going back to baseball, that's a hell of an average right there.
That's Hall of Fame average.
That is legendary average.
So are you saying I'm a legend now?
I am saying you are a freaking legend, Bill Lowen.
Yeah, I've always watched the Bassmaster, but since you've been there, it's like every tournament I watch, I can't wait to watch Bill Lowen on the final day because you're there so many times. I mean, that's the whole reason we know who you are is because you've been on there so many times. It's awesome.
Well, I take a lot of pride in trying to be very, very consistent. And I think that just comes from where I grew up, here on the Ohio River where, you went out every day just to catch five. And I've kind of carried that over onto the tour, you know what I mean? Try to catch five and let the chips fall where they fall. And some days it works out and some days it don't.
Hey, if you want to talk to the legend, Bill Lowen, the number's 520-214-2277. Let's open the phone lines back up now that we got this deal fixed up here. What do you say? We got a fish on the line?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Stray Casts. This is Pat Renwick, and you're talking to the legend, Bill Lowen, right now. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Matt Connolly out of Georgia.
Out of Georgia. What's up, Matt? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm sitting in Wisconsin right now and looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at the Chicagoland Fishing Expo.
Oh, nice. Excellent. You're down for the expo, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And you guys sold me on PH Customs last year, and thanks, Bill, for coming out last year to the show. That was awesome to meet you.
That's an awesome show to come to. Unfortunately, I won't be there this year, but maybe next year.
Yeah, there it is right there. Hey,
Gave out too much good advice.
he can't give it all away, man. He's gonna. He can only get so much from a legend, Matt. You know that, right?
I mean, it's that line through swim bait head. Everyone.
That thing's awesome.
We had a lot of viewers told us we were not allowed to talk about the Bill Lowen line through swim bait head because it's their secret.
Well, and I don't tell anyone that I compete against either. It's a shaky head every time.
Just a shaky head, not the Bill Lowen line through swim bait head available on Lure Parts Online.
Yeah, Lure Parts Online. Don't forget that part.
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
Awesome, Matt. Thanks. Hey, do you want to take a stab at the trivia question, dude, and try and win here, or what?
I'd love to. And did you say that the weight was 4,589 pounds? Or we're just doing round numbers, right?
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, I'm not getting that specific. Matt already knows the answer. He's playing me.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I've got it at roughly $233 per pound.
Let's check the statistician. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt won. Matt won the deal right there. First guy knocked it out. Awesome, Matt. You see, miracles happen. Miracles happen right here on Straight Cast. That's the miracle of the legend Bill Lowen right there. So, Matt, you send your info.
Fish.
Thank God for phone calculators.
Yes, exactly. Send your info over to JP High, and we're going to send you out some PH Custom lures. How's that?
That's awesome.
Awesome, Matt.
Just contact us on our Facebook page.
Yeah, on the Straight Cast Facebook page. Yeah, or just call up JP's.
He's in the chat.
All right. Give it to him. Give it to us in a private message because we don't want anybody stalking you, Matt. Okay.
Or stealing the baits out of your mailbox.
Exactly. Thanks a lot for calling. That's Matt.
Do you mind if I ask Bill a quick question?
Go ahead, dude. Again, get it.
Bill, as a co-angler, I'm always at the back of the boat. I'd love it if they offered to swap places, but that doesn't happen. I was curious, in sight fishing tournaments, do you have any recommendations for the guy in the back of the boat?
The biggest
recommendation
that I'm going to give you is that, look, I mean, I know that's a bad situation when that guy's up there, working on that fish, trying to get that fish to bite, and you kind of feel like you're left out there in no man's land. What I've seen from all the co-anglers I've ever had in the back of my boat in that situation, they seem to do very well if they just blind cast, out the back of the boat with some kind of weightless Senko or some type of finesse bait like that. Something that you can fan cast around out there. And look, if that fish is there spawning, you got to think in your mind that maybe there's some other ones spawning around you that he doesn't know are there, or maybe there's some buck bass swimming around that you can target. So try that finesse type presentation out of the back of the boat. Make you a lot of fan casts in those areas that he's not paying any attention to. And I think it'll help you out tremendously.
There it is right there. Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Question. Take care. That's Matt right there with Bill Lowen, the legend. The phone lines are still open, 520-214-2277. You want to talk to Bill Lowen, here's your opportunity right there. We got another fish on the line right here. Welcome to Straight Cast. How you doing? Who's calling?
Hey, I'm pretty good. This is Brandon from Iowa.
Brandon from Iowa.
Brandon?
What's going on, dude?
Hey, not much. Just waiting for the lakes, that's all.
Yeah, right? Us too. Us too, man.
What do you got for Bill, Brandon?
Yep. Well, I've got a couple of questions. Couple questions for Bill. When you're throwing that swim jig, what's your main retrieve? Are you pumping that rod up high, or are you doing a straight reel? And does your trailer change depending on which way you're swimming the jig?
Good question.
All right, let's see if we can answer that. That's probably two of the most asked questions that I get about swim jig fishing. For me, I always like to go with a 1/4 ounce jig, my signature jig from Lure Parts Online. I know a lot of guys like 3/8 or half ounce, but I like a quarter. Typically for me, I catch a lot of fish just reeling that swim jig straight in, letting the action or the trailer do the action. But also, that rod that we talked about a little bit earlier, my swim jig rod from Castaway, it has a soft tip on it like a spinnerbait rod. So when you see them guys shaking that rod really hard to get that swim jig pumping, you don't have to shake that rod as hard. All you got to do is get the tip of that rod going, and it makes that swim jig work perfectly. So to answer your question about retrieves, either a straight retrieve or a shaking retrieve to get that jig pulsating. And the trailers, man, trailers are, the sky's the limit with trailers. I always try to put it into 3 categories. I try to put it into something with a grub type tail, whether it be a single tail or a double tail grub. Something that has kicking action, like a pack a crawl, that type of kicking action, or a trailer that has a swim bait action, a paddle tail, something like that. One of those 2-3 trailers is going to cover any situation and cover anything that's going on, whether it be shad spawn, the brim spawn, anything like that. So them would be my 2 retrieves. Them would be my 3 choices in trailers.
Nice. In depth right there, Brandon.
All right. Well, that's good enough for me.
Hopefully it'll help you catch some fish, Brandon.
Write that down.
You can't ask for much more. Hopefully you're taking notes.
Will.
You're taking some notes. Thanks for calling, dude. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for listening.
You're welcome.
Watching. Right there. Brandon from Iowa. He's waiting for the thaw too, Bill.
Yeah, I think we're all waiting for everything to thaw out.
Yeah, absolutely. How we doing over there? Got any more stacked up? Okay, let's take one more call. We have another fish on the line. Welcome to Stray Casts. Who's calling?
This is Larry from Indiana.
Larry from Indiana. What's up, Larry?
Oh, not much. Just had a couple of questions for Bill.
Go ahead.
Bill, what are your favorite conditions for your swim jig?
Boy, you know what? I don't know if I have a favorite condition. There's never a time or any event that I don't leave the dock with three swim jig rods laying up there.
Wow.
I have that much confidence in it, and I use it that much that I typically always have 3 rods laying up there. I would have to say, if I had to pick one time where I feel like it's the perfect storm, would be that pre-spawn area or pre-spawn time right before them fish get on the beds, and right there, when they're getting ready to lock on, when they start getting territorial, things like that. You get some kind of bluegill colored swim jig or something and run it through there, and they can't resist it. So if I had to pick the perfect time, that pre-spawn time right before they go on beds would be the time that I would choose.
Do you also find that you pick up a swim jig anymore more than a spinnerbait?
I find myself gravitating more to the swim jig than I do a spinnerbait, just because it's more of a finessey, subtle type presentation. A little tip I'm going to give you, though, is I'm starting to gravitate in certain areas back to that spinnerbait because I feel like the spinnerbait is a bait that's kind of not on the radar anymore. I think there's so many things going on with swim jigs and swim baits and things like that a spinnerbait has kind of got forgotten about. So don't put your spinnerbaits away, but keep throwing them swim jigs.
There it is. Thanks, Larry.
Last question for Bill. I know you like to duck hunt quite a bunch. How's your duck hunting been here recently?
Our duck hunting has been horrible. We've been fighting ice. The Ohio River froze completely over there for a day or two. Everywhere that we typically would be able to hunt or get on birds, we've been iced up, so it's not been a great season. Been a lot of 2 and 3 duck days, and it's just been a struggle.
There it is.
Hopefully they get better this weekend.
Well, this is our last weekend. I got to work a show on Saturday. We'll probably get to hunt a little on Sunday. But yeah, it's time to put the guns away and the decoys and get them fishing poles out.
Alabama bound. There it is. Hey, thanks, Larry. We appreciate you calling, man. Larry from Indiana.
Hey, thanks a bunch, guys.
Hey, since we're on some swim jig, this turned into a swim jig show.
It's a swim
I
jig
got a
seminar.
swim jig question too for Bill. Bill, I lose I seem to miss a lot of fish on that slack line bite. You know what I'm talking about, where you're reeling it, the line drops. You know that fish kind of hit it from behind and pushed it. And maybe I swing too quick or something like that, but it seems like I miss a lot of those fish. You got any suggestions on what to do when you get that
I
bite?
think that the most important thing for that situation is having the right rod. You know what I mean? Like I said, I see, and I used to be no different. I used to swim my jig on a 7.6 flipping rod, and that same thing would happen to me. And by the end of the day, I was wore out. So going back to the rod, having that soft tip lets that fish get that bait. And you don't have the ability to take it away from him. You know what I mean? The other bit that's the other benefit to using that braid versus that fluorocarbon line. You know what I mean? When you get that big slack line bite and you're using fluorocarbon, a lot of times you set the hook and you really don't get him. With that braid, when he gets it, you got him.
Nice.
The braid. I got to
braid
start
and the
using
soft
the braid.
rod.
Yeah. Your second biggest fan, JP High. You know him, Bill.
Oh yeah,
the hip hop
absolutely.
fisherman. He swims it on the braid all the time. He's always swimming because of you. Way to go, Bill.
Awesome.
He spanks me with the swim jig regularly,
have
too.
that soft tip.
You got to have the soft tip.
Soft tip.
It all adds up.
Well, you could have asked him, and he could have helped you out.
I know.
Well,
but,
I wanted to hear it from you.
yeah, see? You could have Popcorn, you could have listened to JP the whole time.
I've watched him do it.
He knew the
and
answer.
it's good. I just wanted confirmation.
He knew the answer. Hey, I'm going to test your history knowledge here on the Ohio River. Okay, are you ready for this, Bill?
Probably not, but go ahead.
Okay. So do you know who actually discovered the Ohio River?
I have no idea.
Okay, now got to write this down because I'm going to ask you again next time.
All right.
The guy's name was a Frenchman. Go figure this. He was a Frenchman, and his name was René Robert Cavalier. René Robert Cavalier.
I would have never guessed that in a million years.
Well, I expected you knew that because you fished the Ohio River. Everybody knows that.
Well, I'm sure when he discovered it, you could probably walk across it.
Do you know what boundary the Ohio River held in the early days? What was it the boundary between? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I'm educating you, Bill. That's my job as a
we
bass.
call in a friend or something.
Yeah,
for this.
you can call anybody you want. This is an education on a bass
poll
fishing
the
time.
audience.
Yes, you can. A survey says it actually served as a border between present-day Kentucky and Indian territories. Did you know that?
I did not.
I'm educating Bill Lowen on
Look
the
at this.
Ohio River. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, something about Cincinnati too.
Something about Cincinnati.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
reading about it.
Yeah, it's all right there. It was a boundary water. Old Renee opened up our eyes. René Robert Cavalier.
He discovered it.
Who cares?
Someone else would
Who
have
cares
found it.
about René Robert Cavalier?
Someone else would have found it
Yeah,
anyways.
somebody would have ran into that, like Bill Lowen. Bill, do you remember Harry and Charlie in Bassmaster?
I do.
Dude, so why I ask you about the old-time Ohio River is, like, if you can remember, back in Harry and Charlie days, they would always, like, take this time travel trip back into time, and there'd be, like, these giant prehistoric bass that they would go fishing for, and they'd be using spinner baits that they would actually be using hubcaps from their trucks. You know, they'd custom make giant spinner baits to catch these Goliath megalodon bass.
Woolly mammoth tooth for a
Yeah,
hook.
yeah, exactly. Like, do you think that, like, back in the day that the Ohio River was actually a bass fishing mecca?
No, not at all. I don't think it has ever been a mecca for bass fishing ever.
It's so tough, man, but it makes you so good, Bill. I think it's huge. It's a huge contribution to your success, dude.
I think without a doubt, and you hear me talk about it all the time, we go to the best places in the world at the best time of the year, so it's not a matter if you're going to catch them or not. It's a matter of, are they going to be big enough to compete? When you put that boat in the Ohio River and go, you don't even know if you're going to get a bite. There's days I go down there still and fish daylight to dark and don't get a bite. So what's that tell you?
Yeah. It tells you that we deal with the same stuff right here in
Yeah.
our armpit of bass fishing where we live. Same deal. It's the same kind of deal. Hey, do you have? I know Ohio is a tough area, and then even where you live out there in Indiana, that's that little niche right there. It can be some tough fishing. But let's say that you're at home, and it's it's a little stop between Elite Series tour events, and you're at home, and Express Boats calls you up, and they're like, Bill, we need a picture of you with a 4-pounder. We gotta have it. We gotta have it here in the next 2 days. Need you to send me a picture with a 4-pounder. Where are you gonna go? Do you got a little Bill Lowen honey hole where you can go jack yourself a 4 every time?
We got a couple of those here. They're trolling motor kind of deal onlys. You know what I mean? And they're full of fish. And if we need to go do that, that's where we go. I mean, typically if I'm home and I want to go fun fishing, we got 2 trolling motor only lakes that I go to here, and you can catch all you want.
So you can put your boat in there. You can only just use the trolling motor.
Yeah, trolling motor only.
And it's public?
Yes.
Nice. We like it. And you're walking out of there with not just 1 4-pounder, but 20 pounds for 5 fish.
You know, I don't know about 20 pounds for 5, but you catch a lot of, 2.5s with an occasional 4 or 5-pounder, which for around here, man, that's phenomenal.
That's pretty damn good. That's an Express Boats picture fish right there.
Yeah.
Boom.
Absolutely.
Boom. Who's your bass fishing hero, Bill?
Oh, man. You know what? I would have to say in the tournament scene, it would be Denny Brower without a doubt.
Denny Brower.
Outside of the bass fishing scene, it would have to be my dad. You know what I mean? He was a tournament angler when I was growing up. So he kind of got the bug in me when I was young, and then he kind of gave it up, and I kind of took over. So, you know what I mean? With him not, doing what he did for me when I was a young guy, we wouldn't be having this conversation today.
You have become the legend, Bill Lowen.
Well, that sounds really cool, but then it makes me feel really old.
Well,
the legend is growing.
You're a legend in your time.
It's growing.
Like I'm a legend in my own mind, but you're a legend in your own time. So there's a big difference.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, Bill?
Absolutely.
There it is, right there. Bill, hey, let's play a bass fishing game show before you get out of here. You want to play some games?
Hey, it always scares me when you guys do this. I got a video on my phone though from you this morning running around in your underwear. I wanted to share that with the viewers.
That's fine. That's
Jesus.
absolutely. But
what are you guys doing?
That's okay. Bill FaceTimed me this morning, and I said, Bill, if you notice that I'm holding the camera the other way because I am not decent. Yeah. But what were you doing out there? You were duck hunting?
I was. Yep.
Did it go very well?
It didn't. It's been one of them years. It's been horrible. I heard my pocket ringing. I'm like, who the heck's FaceTiming me? I thought you were FaceTiming me, and apparently I FaceTimed you.
You were FaceTiming me. You should have been duck hunting. You're lucky that I didn't.
That's what scared the ducks away.
He'd have got a lot more than a FaceTime full if I'd have pointed that camera in another direction. That's for sure. That's what we do not want.
Yeah, you don't want to show your duck call on FaceTime.
Yeah, ta-da! We don't want that at all right there. Let's play a game show, Bill. We're gonna play What's on Your Mind. So you tell me exactly what is on your mind. The first thing that pops into your mind when I give you a phrase. You ready?
All right.
Here we go. It's time for What's on Your Mind with Elite Series Touring Pro legend Bill Lowen. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and it's time for What's on Your Mind. Bill, the first word to you is mudline. What's on your mind? Mudline.
Oh, that's there's been too much boat traffic that day.
Too much boat traffic that way. Get them out of here.
Yep.
Too many damn spectators. Agile, not fragile. Agile, not fragile.
Oh my goodness. I got nothing.
Agile, not. What about Jennifer? Does she got an answer for that?
Probably not. She's sitting over here laughing.
I hear her laughing. Jennifer, agile, not fragile. Come on, Mrs. Lowen.
She's got nothing either.
What the heck is going on in the Lowen house right now? All right.
How about that new boat?
You just lost it. Yes, that's it. That's it. Good answer, Ryan. It's your new express boat.
Yeah.
That is agile, not fragile. Dropping bombs. Dropping bombs, Bill Lowen.
Dropping bombs. I would have to say that's punching a big weight through some mats.
Punching the big weight through the mats.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
Dirty little secret. Bill Lowen's dirty little secret.
You know, we got a lot of dirty little secrets. I would have to say that would pertain to some of our little secret flipping baits that we have.
Oh, tell us. What are those?
Well, I can't because they're dirty little secrets.
Come on, Bill Lowen. It's a talk show.
Hey, you'll just have to stay tuned and see what shows up this year.
Oh, boy. Here he goes again.
Yeah.
Here he goes again. Did I do that? Did I do that?
That kind of sums up my last season.
The 2017 season.
Yep.
But now
did
you're back.
I do that? Right.
And the last phrase to you, Bill Lowen, is Bubba likes whiskers. Bubba likes whiskers.
Goodness, I cannot believe you just went there.
Really?
Yeah, you hear Jennifer? Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, Bill.
Hey, you're having way too much fun. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a bass fishing talk show. But regardless of the fact, even though we got one wrong, Bill Lowen wins right there. You won, Bill.
What do I win?
You won a $1 Bill PH Custom Lures crankbait.
Awesome.
Yes.
Signed by Bill Lowen.
Signed by JP High and Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. Actually, it's a limited edition. It's right there.
We're just going to need one of those baits so we can sign it and give it back to you.
Bill, what lake are you looking forward to the most in this 2018 season?
You know, I don't think that I have one that I'm like, I can't wait to get there. You know, I hate to, I guess, have any preconceived notions or, you know, when I'm showing up to the lake. I want to get to the lake and fish what's going on at that time. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about the past history that I've had there and things that I've done, because I think a lot of times that gets you in trouble.
Sure.
I like to go and fish the conditions and for exactly what's going on, and that's the way I approach every lake or river wherever we go. So to say, am I looking forward to one over the other? Not really. Like we said earlier in the show, I'm going back to my roots. I'm going to go do what I do. So I'm excited to get started.
So does it make, speaking of getting excited, does it make you excited when Bass adds a new lake to the schedule? Like there, well, I can't even say the name of that lake in, what is it, in Idaho? Oahu? Hawaii?
South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota.
Yep.
Sabadowahi. What the hell's the name of that lake? What is that lake, Bill?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either. I'm just calling it Lake O.
Yeah, Lake
Lake
O.
O, yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is it's big, like 200 miles long or something.
So do you get excited about that when Bass adds a new lake? Or is it scary?
You know, not really. You know, I think it's great to go to new places. And, you know, that's a lake that I would say over, 75% of the field has no experience on or no history. So it's going to be cool. And, with the new rules this year where we're not allowed to get info once the schedule's announced, I think it would be great. I wish, all of our events, really, I just wish we were only allowed to show up and get our 3 days of practice and fish the event,
And Brandon Palaniuk is not allowed to fish that event. Did you hear that?
He's probably been on there. He's probably had some experience on it. But hey, regardless of where we go in the country, somebody's going to have been there before or know something about it.
Just make sure you bring one of them buck fillet knives because they got a lot of walleyes there.
Yeah, bring your splizzers because there's toothy critters there.
Hey, we can do that for sure.
Have the split.
Get yourself some cheeks.
Some walleye cheeks. Hey, Bill, if you could change any rule in B.A.S.S. right now on the Elite Series, what would be that rule? What would you change? What would you change about professional bass fishing on the Elite Series?
Man, I don't know what I would change as far as rules go. Um, you know, like I just mentioned before, what I would like to see happen is we don't have a 30-day off limits. We don't, you know what I mean? I would love to see once the schedule is announced, we're not even allowed on the body of water. We show up, we get 3 days of practice, and we have an event.
Boom, just go.
Let's just go. You know what I mean? Let's not get that we can go to the lake and pre-fish 30 days before the event. Once it's announced, no information, no time on the water. We show up for our 3 days of practice, and we have us a derby.
It's the purest form. It's
that would be the purest form, I feel, and I think it'd be awesome to see it go down like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of the purest form, I know that we talked about it before, Bill. We sure hope that one of these days you're on that MLF because you're going to kick everybody's ass. You know that once it.
Well, I would love to be over there trying that. I got my name on the list, so hopefully someday I'll get in.
Get in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's right there. Bill, I'm getting the signal. We are out of time here. I do appreciate you coming on the show again, man. I mean, you've been a supporter way back since the Bass Buzz radio days, and please know that we sincerely appreciate all you do for this show as well as the world of bass fishing, dude.
Well, you know, I appreciate y'all having me. It's always fun. You guys always scare me because I don't ever know what kind of questions you're going to ask. But that's all part of it.
That's the idea. This is not a normal show.
Absolutely.
We tell you guys that going in. But for some reason, you keep coming back. I don't know why. Keep coming back. And don't feel bad because Ryan likes whiskers too, just so you know.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, I know. Cut out home.
Not quite sure what this whole thing is about.
Bill.
But I don't
Jennifer,
like the tone.
The entire Lowen family, thank you so much for coming on. And Bill, best of luck on the 18 series there, the Elites, man. We're looking forward to you kicking some butt out there, dude.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Dance with who
Thanks,
brung
Bill.
ya. That's Bill Lowen, Bassmaster
See
Elites.
y'all.
See you, Jennifer. Take care of yourself. That's awesome right there. The whole Lowen family. This is the magic of a bass fishing talk show. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, JP High, the hip hop fisherman, Andrew Ellenberger, the producer, Larry Kyleman, the iTunes guy. He's over there too, and
he's over there on the couch.
We all are saying farewell. Thank you so much to all the viewers, listeners out there. We apologize for the few glitches that we had. The show will be available immediately following this on the iTunes in true podcast form, as well as uploaded to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
So you can catch it there with various forms of media. Thank you so much to our sponsors, because without your support, we would not be able to have this much fun. 3 Wednesday nights a month.
And please, if you like watching the show, do us a favor and go to the YouTube and slap that subscribe button.
Slap the subscribe.
You won't have to remember. It'll remind you.
Slap in the bush.
Slap it.
Slap in the bush.
Slap in the B.A.S.
We will see you then, or we will see you on another time. I'm Pat Renwick. I'm out. Peace.
Ta-da!